Hello there, my very good friends. On today's wrestling news, WWE just isn't listening.
Janel grants camp issue a statement following Brock Lesnar's return at SummerSlam.
WWE talent are unsure of Unreal.
And are we getting more two-night WWE PLEs? I'm Adam Wilborn.
And I'm Big John.
And this is the news. Bash!
Bash! Alright, let's talk about WWE not listening. Specifically to the case of one Karrion Kross, a gentleman we have been speaking about for ages.
Yeah.
All year, it seems his future has been the subject of speculation. We do have a big update from Fightful that we're going to cover here, but also let's go over a couple of things to contextualize this first, right? Because I think it's important to consider this when we talk about WWE's decision to either renew him or not renew Karrion Kross. So, did you see the post-SummerSlam? What we calling it now? The panel show?
Yeah, it's the closest thing to describe it, isn't it?
Yeah, Triple H, all the post-show panelists.
Tess, Big E, etc.
They're in front of a crowd. Well, they're literally in front of a crowd because the crowd is behind them.
Yeah.
But part of this, during this, the crowd starts chanting, "We want Kross, we want Kross." Triple H turns around and goes, "You want Brock? You got him." Now, Brock.
That's all they said.
Yeah, Brock, Kross. I guess they've got an R and an O.
Close enough.
Kind of similar. You can decide if you think he heard Kross and deliberately said Brock, or if he just misheard it. You can decide that. I have no idea.
No.
But in response to this, Kross tweeted saying, "Unreal. They write the scripts, but the fans write the truth. Thank you, TikTok." This was replied to by Braun Strowman, the former Braun Strowman, Adam Scherr, who's a free agent now and can go wherever the heck he wants to. He replied saying, "You know they don't care about the fans. They care about nepotism ass kissers and their buddies." In the Fightful report on Mr. Kross, Mr. Kesser?
Sounds about right, yeah.
Real name? Big Kev? Let's call him Big
Yeah.
Kev for now. But yeah, on the update on Kross, they noted that neither Kross nor Scarlett was backstage at Raw last night, and they are not they weren't planned for the show, and there's an update on their contract status as well. Earlier, a couple of weeks ago, we reported, or we regurgitated, that the deal was up later this month in August. It's up this weekend, and a new deal has not been offered to either of them as of yet. However, they have not yet been informed that their deals are set to expire. So the clock is ticking, pardon the pun, I didn't mean to do that. And Fightful are continuing to monitor the situation like a lizard. They are monitoring the situation. But it looks like, I mean, the closer we get to this, the likelier it seems that they might go. I think they asked, this is a particularly interesting case, right?
Yeah.
Because he's clearly gotten over with the fans. People were chanting his name at this post-show thing. He always gets a decent reaction, right? People really enjoy the character.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anyone go, "I don't like the character." Everyone seems to be into that. The match is a bit more of a mixed response, but it seems to me like the reaction and the response doesn't seem like it's a factor to WWE when considering whether or not to keep these people around.
Yeah, it's a surreal one, this, because arguably this is the most over he's been on the main roster
easily
ever in his entire time in WWE, and sometimes the least, it feels like least he's been pushed.
Yeah.
He's barely been featured. Like you say, it was weird last night because I was fairly certain the stipulation was Kross loses, he has to admit that Sammy was right. So I thought, we might at least get that. And then last night they were like, "Sammy, you beat Karrion Kross, what's next for you?" And I was like, oh, they're moving on from that very quickly there.
Yeah.
Alarm bells were ringing in my head when I heard that. But yeah, it's such a unique situation. It's like you say, whether it be a release or a contract expiry, for most of the time, it's not someone who is like just been on a PLE, for example.
Yeah.
It's someone who they just sort of go, we'll slowly move them to the side. And certainly doesn't have the sort of groundswell of support Kross appears to have. So I don't know whether this is just a game of chicken between WWE and Kross of like, here's your offer. Look, it's not what you were hoping for, but it's kind of take it or leave it, and they're seeing who blinks first in that situation.
Well, it sounds like
saying that they haven't been offered.
Yeah, they haven't been offered anything.
So, it's presumably not that, but I can't decide whether it is like, is WWE going, because normally they'd go, well, look, there are contracts running out, but they're clearly popular. We can do something with them.
Yeah.
We might as well re-sign them for another year or whatever.
It seems like, yeah.
Or is it WWE going, we're not going to do anything with them, and it's going to be a bit of a backlash now. But if we re-sign them just because there's a bit of support behind them, and then don't use them, it's going to get even worse.
Yeah.
So I can't decide what's going on here. It's a really interesting, like you say, unique situation for everybody involved, and I mean, I don't expect Braun Strowman back in the company anytime soon. Tweets like that, so maybe we'll get Control Your Narrative too.
the direction we can all hope for.
Yes.
Cross
Troll Your Narrative.
Cross Troll Your Narrative with Adam Scherr, EC3. Who else was part of that?
That's the only names I remember was EC3 and Braun.
Yeah.
And they just like people went in a room and shouted at him or something.
Yeah, the rant room. Interesting stuff. There is kind of precedent for fan backlash leading to a re-signing with R-Truth recently.
Yeah.
But then they brought him back and done absolutely nothing with him. So what was the point?
Cool him down.
Yeah. What was the point of that? They had this whole thing going. He seemed to be being rebranded as Ron Killings, and had another Cena match, which
he won technically, right?
Yeah. And what was the point of that whole charade? Doesn't seem like they're going to listen to the reactions when it comes to Cross. They're probably making the judgment based on other things. I think if I'm him and the deal isn't coming, I think that TNA is a wonderful option.
Might be the way forward, yeah.
He was there before. I believe he got killed off when Eddie Edwards bit him, if I'm remembering. Yeah, they say he's give him a bite in a segment, and that was that for Killer Cross in TNA. But look, you can easily just write people back in. Yeah, you can write people back in. I think if he went there, he'd be a main eventer, and it's a great spot for him.
Yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? It's sort of a backdoor back into WWE to a certain extent as well, TNA. So maybe that's what they're working towards. I think he'd do very well whatever happens if he gets released, because, like you say, he's such a popular figure right now. He's not going to struggle. And they've sort of nailed down the gimmick. I think previously when he was released, it was a bit like, oh, what do you do now? Because they just sort of made him this killer on NXT, and then he turned up as Spartacus or something. I don't know on the main roster.
Gimpicus.
Yeah, it was just awful, and then they didn't really do anything with him. But yeah, it's one of those things, like you say, we've reported on it a lot. We've got 5 days, presumably,
5 days
left to report on this, and we might find out more by the weekend.
And if you want to do something before the weekend, how about that thing you did before the weekend to sign up for NordVPN?
Yeah.
Deal is still running. Link in the description. 70% off. 4 months. 76% off. I shortchanged you there. 4 months for free. $50 Amazon gift card.
It's a ridiculous deal when
Great
you break
deal.
it down.
Protect yourself before you wet yourself. Sign up now.
Indeed.
Great ad read. I should do that on telly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, let's talk a little bit more about Brock Lesnar's return at SummerSlam. It's got everyone talking, of course, and immediately people were talking about Brock Lesnar's association with Janel Grant, of course. He was named over 40 times in the suit against Vince McMahon and WWE, alleging sexual abuse and human trafficking. It's in the suit alleged that he human trafficked her as part of a deal to re-sign Brock Lesnar. There was also allegations that he wanted to introduce Brock as a new playmate in his relationship with Ms. Grant. It's horrible reading all this whenever you have to hear about it. But a spokesperson for Janel Grant has issued a following statement following Brock's return at SummerSlam, as I say, which reads, "For far too long, abuse was allowed to thrive under WWE's leadership. Instead of righting this wrong, WWE has done nothing to ensure those responsible are held accountable. This attempt to sweep misconduct under the rug will backfire. We look forward to the full set of facts, including those about Mr. Lesnar, coming out in a court of law where they belong. But in the meantime, we refer you back to Janel Grant's updated complaint, which outlines in detail the abuse she endured by McMahon and others while employed by WWE." It's really surreal to hear these horrific allegations laid out towards Vince, WWE, and the mentions of Brock Lesnar in there, and at the same time be watching Raw and have Michael Cole say, Nick Khan and Triple H thought it was time to bring Brock Lesnar home.
Yeah, it's wild. There was a report yesterday on Wrestling Observer Radio where Dave Meltzer stated that WWE Legal cleared Brock 4 weeks ago. No idea what that means. Maybe they know more about the ongoing legal situation than other people. The thing about that case is that it is still open and it is still being litigated. If there is a discovery phase in that stage, all the phones get handed over, all the call logs get handed over, the emails. You're going to learn everything. Everything is going to be out there. and it'll be made public, and you'll all be able to divulge this information and so forth. A response from Janel Grant's team was inevitable when Brock returned, because his name is cited 44 times in that case. I saw a lot of misinformation doing the rounds yesterday. There was a lot of people saying, no, he was never named and all of this stuff. It's not true. He was. His name is in there. Initially, it was not, but then the thing was amended.
It didn't take a genius to work it out either, did it?
Yeah, a WWE wrestler who's a former UFC fighter. Come on. Also, it is in there. Like you can go and look up the complaint right now. It's right there. So yeah, I think the response from some kind of spokesperson on Janel Grant's side was inevitable. The case is still ongoing, and we will learn more about it as it proceeds and progresses through the courts of law.
Yeah, not much point in speculating anymore on this or bring any developments as and when we get them.
Absolutely not. Let's talk about something that really doesn't matter in context. WWE Unreal. Show actually I used as a bit of a headspace break last night. I was like, gee whiz, consuming this Brock Lesnar stuff all day is pretty brutal. I'm going to watch this weird documentary.
It's fun, isn't it?
It's nice escapism.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you just need to get your head out of all of this stuff. Apparently drawing a bit of a mixed response backstage. However, it sounds like WWE and Netflix are working on season 2.
Yes.
This is from Fightful Select. The director of WWE Unreal, Chris Weaver, brother of Nikki, maybe? I don't know. Former Aberdeen goalkeeper.
That's a from Man City goalkeeper, yeah.
Played for us for enough time it takes to make a cup of tea. But he was at gorilla position when Seth was cashing in. He was filming content. So people that Fightful spoke to said that they expect this entire angle will be covered in the next set of episodes. Whenever that comes out, Weaver had spoken to Fightful. He wouldn't confirm a second season, but he said he wants one. Now, people in WWE that Fightful spoke to haven't quite made their mind up about Unreal so far. Some people who were featured, they hadn't been told that they were being filmed for the program beforehand. It's a bit weird. Talent also said but other talent said it had been worked into their contract.
Yeah.
And that there were always signs up backstage saying you were subject to being filmed. But they did worry about that when emotions run high in the gorilla position, as we've seen on Unreal, that becomes like one less sacred area.
Yeah.
Where people can be vulnerable. Gorilla position is like a really prominent subject on this show, especially on the Royal Rumble episode. All the stuff with Speed and all of that, and his mangled leg and all that. It's gross. Poor guy. Took a hell of a bump. Also, talent weren't paid anything extra for this show, at least that they're aware of. The ones that Fightful spoke to didn't necessarily mind that, but they did note it.
Yeah.
I guess it's interesting because if you're doing a little bit of extra work, like, for example, if you're CM Punk and you're doing talking head segments and stuff like that, that's quite a lot of extra work that you're doing. But then again, you sign agreements and you sign contracts and you agree to certain things. Although, if you're one of the people who didn't know they were being filmed, I guess that's a different conversation. I will say from a viewer standpoint, look, it's just a really easy thing to consume and watch.
It's such a nice watch of an evening, isn't it?
I think you do obviously have to arm's length, a bunch of this stuff.
Yeah.
It's always been the case.
Those conversations have already happened for real, and then they've gone, right, let's do it for the cameras now.
Yeah. Look, it's all about making an entertaining TV show at the end of the day, and this is kind of the new kayfabe.
Yes, I think a lot of people, when it was first announced, were very concerned it was going to be really exposing the business. And I think they've sort of, balanced things out pretty nicely. Of like, we're revealing a little bit, but we know what we're in control of. I'd be intrigued to know about, like you say, if people blow up a gorilla position for real.
Yeah.
Does like WWE have the ability to say like you cannot air that footage sort of thing to Netflix? I don't know who's in control of that, but like you say, it's a really interesting insight into storylines and the wrestler stuff. Personally, it's just nice to see the person behind the character a little bit more. For me, the way they sort of lay out. People call me this, and this.
Yeah.
And it's just like nice to hear more from like. It's fascinating to see like Chelsea Green has a different outfit for every single match she's ever had. That ridiculous wardrobe she's got. Not difficult for people like Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair to come off as nice people because they presumably are.
Rhea Ripley's collection of things, creatures was interesting.
Also funny, like I love the guy, but Also quite funny to see Jey Uso prior to his Royal Rumble win just getting mugged off by security in an arena.
Yeah.
Are you Mark Henry or Tully Blanchard? I'm Jey Uso. I'm the guy on the poster.
Are you Tully Blanchard? Is so funny.
It's the way Jay's so like. I get it. Like some people are weird about wrestlers. Like they should always be like nice people. No, we've all imagine like your worst, longest day at work, and then someone is like asking something from you that you don't know.
Camera in your face.
Yeah. Like. Presumably Jay's had a long drive to the arena and he's having to be on for the cameras to talk about, what's upcoming for him. And then the bloke's like, who are you? And he says, I'm Jey Uso. Mark Henry's literally there. He can say who I am. Does that work?
Yeah.
See you later.
Yeah, and he just drives off. I thought it was quite funny.
Yeah. It was like the idea that if someone was trying to break into backstage, I'm going to go full yeet glasses. That'll get him.
Tully Blanchard had the yeet glasses
Indeed.
that night, apparently. So silly.
But it's well worth checking out, like you say. But yeah, take it with a certain pinch of salt.
Yeah, it's a fun little watch. It's nice and light and breezy. And hey, if you've been in the sludge all day, it will take your mind off of it.
Yes, indeed. But of course, we're coming off the back of a 2-night SummerSlam, the first ever, the best ever 2-night SummerSlam, and the worst.
I would say it's the best 2-night SummerSlam ever.
Yeah,
I think that's
unquestionably.
fair. Yeah, we don't like to make sudden judgments or anything, but yeah.
But obviously we've got 2-night SummerSlam. We've had for what, 5 years now?
Yeah.
A 2-night WrestleMania.
Yes.
Kind of enforced, obviously, during the pandemic. No one wants a 6-hour show with no fans. But I think it's been a roaring success following that, of course. We've been lucky enough to attend quite a few of those. SummerSlam, first time it was 2 nights, and according to Andrew Baydala, looks like that is going to be the plan going forward. And for even more events, Andrew tweeting out, following the success of SummerSlam in New Jersey this past weekend, the discussion of hosting more 2-night events has intensified within WWE/TKO. With an earlier start-finish time, impressive revenue, attendance numbers, it's clear that the 2-night format resonated well with fans. They appear to be capitalizing on this success. Plans are already underway to introduce more 2-night PLEs in 2026. Survivor Series, 2 nights potentially in 2026. And the Royal Rumble in 2027 are at the top of the list. They make the most sense. They're the other 2 big 4, of course.
Yeah,
but interestingly, it looks like Money in the Bank might also be in the mix for this format. I suppose you could extend this to bloody like Hell in a Cell and stuff like that, but it appears to be, the big 4, and then like the sort of tentpole matches / events. So like, yes, WrestleMania and SummerSlam were the first 2 obvious ones. Then you go to the other big 4, the others of the big 4. Survivor Series, you can do a War Games or whatever on each night. You could do a Royal Rumble on each night, which I think actually would work probably better than arguably SummerSlam and Survivor Series in terms of like, right, give this person their moment, not just like, well, on with the show after the opening Royal Rumble match. Yeah. Money in the Bank, I suppose, could sort of echo that. That is probably less of a priority for fans, but yeah, I mean, judging by the success they had with SummerSlam, over 100,000 fans in attendance over the 2 days, and the buzz that it got, and so you get sort of 2 bites at the cherry, don't you, in terms of big events, and they certainly did that with Seth's cash-in and Brock's return, Cody winning the title, etc., etc. So understandable.
It'll ultimately come down to what makes the most money.
Yes, it always does.
Yeah, it's that it'll be cost versus revenue, and obviously, if you can have 2 nights where there are over 50,000 people in a stadium, that's very lucrative. Also, these days, a lot of it is dictated by site fees, which is when a city or a region or whatever goes, hello WWE, we will give you $15 million if you do this in our stadium. That was a big motivating factor.
Especially if you move it to Las Vegas again.
yeah, exactly. So that's a big motivator as well. So yeah, if they think they can pack out stadiums 2 nights in a row and make a boatload of money, and then like there's residuals from that if they do like a fan fest and all of that. That can make money too. They can do a SmackDown taping. They can do a Raw. Blah 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 blah. These are very lucrative things for TKO. From a fan standpoint, I think the Royal Rumble makes a lot of sense if they are going to make it 2 nights, because you split up the Rumbles. You have maybe 4 undercard matches or whatever. Both Rumbles can main event. It's good. It means both Rumble winners get to close the show, as you've said. And I like a hot opener, I like a Rumble opening the show and then one closing. I think that's a cool format. But also this kind of works.
Yeah, I think the stories sometimes get lost, don't they? It's like, this person won the Royal Rumble and someone else won it as well.
Yeah, exactly. This person who did it 4 hours ago or whatever.
Yeah.
I think Survivor Series, does it have enough juice for this format these days? I'm not sure, but we'll find out. If they book a 2-night one and it sells 100,000 tickets across 2 nights, fair enough. They were right. And then Money in the Bank is kind of similar in that you've got the gimmick match and you can split them up and all of that.
It is surreal how this business changes over time. Like, there's been times where they're like, right, we're gonna, get in this venue and tape hours upon hours upon hours of television to try and save money. To now, well, if we can get 50,000 people for one night, probably get 50,000 for the next night as well. Yeah. And we don't have to build a set all over again, so that saves time and stuff. And like you say, I agree. I think they're just gonna. I wouldn't be surprised if NXT, once they've stopped using it as a sort of stumbling block for any AEW event, I would not be surprised if they start factoring in, whatever they're calling takeovers nowadays into it, because I think I personally love the format of Saturday morning on WrestleMania weekend, stand and deliver. And then meet with the boys after Stand and Deliver, head over to WrestleMania. I thought it's just, like you say, it's just a whole weekend, but a whole week really, where they just take over a city.
Saturation is what it is. Yeah, it's and it's from a fan standpoint, I think expense does become a big concern. I think it's much easier to pay $100 for one ticket than to pay $200 for two, right? But live events around the world, they're all trending in this hyper expensive direction, and it really sucks from a consumer standpoint. So there will be a point where this maybe tapers off a little bit. But look, if they're planning on doing it more, they clearly think that it will be more successful for them. And also shout out to Andrew Badela on this report, a bald king. You love to see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Balds all around the world.
But yeah,
doing stuff.
Money in the Bank. I love Money in the Bank, so I'm biased. I don't know whether it can quite stretch to a 2-night PLE, but
5 nights, why not?
Yeah, bollocks to it.
We have 5 Money in the Bank matches.
You get a tag one, you get an Intercontinental one.
Yeah, absolutely.
NXT one.
NXT North American title one,
NXT Money in the Bank.
Ring of Honor Pure Championship.
It's so funny because it's people have talked about this Money in the Bank deal, to go on from a complete tangent very quickly. Yeah. A lot of people I've seen, yourself, and I think I saw Ibu and a few others saying maybe go away from for a while, Money in the Bank now. I love it. I love it even more after these cash-ins. So I think I might be the outlier on this one.
No, I think most people do love it. I think I'm the outlier. I hate it. I'm just done. Seth Rollins, Money in the Bank cash-in. People cheer. He's a heel. What the hell?
But don't worry.
What the hell are we doing?
If you like the Money in the Bank briefcase, we've still got 2 of them over on AEW, so we're all good.
Yeah, no, sir. Those are contracts that must be executed.
Execute the contract.
It's very different. It's very different, I promise you. Honestly, we're not copying the homework. I'm tired of these things, man. What can I say? I'm not,
Here, TNA's going to introduce a gift from the gods.
Yeah. And over in...
Well, they had Feast or Fire, didn't they? A gift from the gods is Lucha Underground.
Yeah.
Feast or Fired. Title shot or lose your job? I'll take neither. I'll just stay,
which one would you prefer? Crazy.
It's fun. Andy, you can either get a promotion at WhatCulture or you're fired. Yeah. Can I just keep doing what I'm doing? Absolutely. I'll just do that then.
Yeah, no worries. I'll just skip the whole lot. Let us know what you think in the comment section below, and don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and check the video on your screen right now if you want more silliness in your life. Bye.
Bye.